We are flying home. Hey, this is Joe again, reporting from the EVA MK1 landed on Gilly for refueling. It took me 1 Gilly day, which I can't look up now, but as soon as we are in orbit, I can look that up again, to refuel my ship, which this is still on. But it's not working now because liquid fuel is full. My ore tanks are completely full. I adjusted my thrust to 9 so that we have a good thrust to weight ratio for our liftoff. And we are now ready to fly back to Kerbal. And I want to start into an equatorial orbit again. In the meantime, I looked up, there's no pick-up surface detail on Gilly, so the things like the Moonstone and the Minmo Stone that we could take, it's not here. So this body doesn't have stuff like that. Wow. So my friend, you said you still have a thrust weight ratio of 6.9 and you were lying to me. We are way too slow for this. But whatever, you can fly off this rock with any thrust weight ratio you'd like, and now we have like none. But whatever, we don't need the gears anymore. This thrust weight ratio is lying. I should have used the one from here that says 11. Also totally wrong. I would have 12 when they are at 100% and now I have 1.2. But it's okay, I have my apoapsis set to 12,000. Now I can go into an orbital burn. To like over there. I mean, I can just stop accelerating now, because I won't crash into this mountain, quotes unquote, and yeah, let's go to the apoapsis. Cannot warp faster than 1 times while below 8,000. Yeah, I'm not caring. God damn it. So we'll have to wait for the 8,000. Since when is that? I could warp over the moon surface. Okay, we'll have to use physics warp because this is stupid. This is if you press Alt, alternative. The key's name is Alt in German, but I think it's also Alt in English. Alt and the period and comma keys. Period and commas you can always use for your warp, and the minus. I'm using German layout, so German keyboard layout. So this is so completely different from what you will be using, where all the periods and commas and slashes are. So it will be totally different buttons for you. So use your normal time warp plus and time warp minus key, and press Alt while doing that, and you go into physics time warp even if the game doesn't allow it normally. This is part of the base game, so that's not the better burn time thing or better time warp thing that you can get. Let's warp there and then go prograde. And so let's look at this from here. Look at Eve. Eve doesn't look violet or purple at all due to the scatterer and all the clouds, but it still looks beautiful up there. Should really give you an image of how Eve looks like when Eve is disabled. How Eve looks like when Eve is disabled. Great. Are we still accelerating? So nobody cares anymore. I want to go prograde. Also, what I realized is that I didn't scan for ore before touching down, which is the most stupidest thing you can do. But that's what I did. Okay. We now have a periapsis. Let's go to the apoapsis again. Why are you so slow? How is that the apoapsis? Apoapsis, my friend. So I want to circularize this orbit. At least like closely to circularize it. Good. Inclination is okay. What are you fucking doing, Kerbal alarm clock? Why are you flashing yellow? I have no idea. Okay, so we are in our orbit around Gilly. This is our crew. We are returning from Gilly with science in our package, which is the surface sample from the Midlands. It's interesting that this simple rock has biomes, but whatever. They thought something while doing that. So if we want to go down to Eve, we will accelerate that way, but we want a higher orbit than Gilly, so we are accelerating that way. So from here, a bit to this side of the retrograde marker, add a maneuver, edit. Wow, this is way too strong. Like 4 meters per second is enough. Yeah, okay. Good. And we won't be leaving Eve with that. Okay, so because I want to circularize my orbit for better, for that it works better with the transfer window planner. Also, I want to go into a lower Eve orbit if I really think about it. Because thanks to the Orthap effect, it will be better to have a lower orbit that will allow us to use less delta V when going down here. Yeah, like that, just only that I don't want my apoapsis to be to the left of me. Where is it now? Oof. Going away. No! Fuck you, game! Did you see what the game did to me again? While scrolling for seeing stuff on the map, it did put in 800 delta V with one scroll of the wheel into the radial. Into the radial part of the maneuver. So that's your thing. We want to be close to the left of it. If I say thing, I mean prograde and retrograde this time. So like this. I will adjust my orbits during my time spent with Eve and not my time spent with Gilly. Okay. We can put our thrust to 100% again. And while we're saying goodbye, we can use this to see if this works better. This is the same thing that it said before. Midlands biome with 9% average surface ore, which doesn't tell me anything. So this is definitely the wrong scanner for this. So next time I'll use a proper surface scanner that will show me ore. I mean, maybe we can see it here. Gilly resources, surface. no resource data available. You need to perform an orbital survey first. So we'll have to do an orbital survey, and that is what we'll do the next time on our, I assume, Duna mission. It's depending on what the game tells us to do. If the game tells us to land on Eve, I'll say nope, I won't do that. If it's telling us to go to Duna, then that's what we're gonna do. Otherwise, I'm also okay with landing on Dress or something. So okay, we want to go to the other side. Go to maneuver, and then we'll burn for a second. Just burn retrograde for 1 second. Retrograde, prograde. I'm stupid sometimes. And I wanted to see the orbital period. Rotation period is 1 day, 1 hour. So it was a day until my tanks were filled. And 1. That's like 0.4 seconds too much, but we're still in a normal orbit. So this orbit does have an inclination towards Eve's standard line, Eve's equator. And I assume it's here. So we're gonna put it here. No, the other one, the behind one. That one. Add a maneuver here. We want... Why does this already have... because we'll have an encounter and stuff. Okay. I want to do like burn to get a proper equatorial orbit, which is now, almost now. Okay. So we'll also want to look at these maneuvers for inclination change, best done way outside of a gravitation well, then it works fine, as you saw now. So if you were interested in knowing why these work that way, that it's way better to do it outside, I would suggest you look up, I think should be explained by Einstein's gravity theorem. So the one where he says that space-time is actually 4D in terms of how gravity works. That explains so much on also how the... I think it's called Orthap effect, where you accelerate better if you're closer to a planet. That's also, I think for me it is explained well by seeing how the gravity, the space-time is actually bent there in 4D. That helps me a lot to visualize or to realize what really happens there. So we wanted to do a maneuver burn on the other side there, and we'll actually warp to it once we aligned. And now we're flying blind again. I'm not looking at the map. We're just looking at this beautiful, beautiful vessel that just left the influence sphere of Gilly. Bye, Gilly. Never see you again. Not in this series, I assume. And there it is, 50 seconds to go. And we're burning in 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, burn. Burn! That was the wrong button. I was off my keys on the keyboard again. But maybe this will be a better burn than the burn we calculated. I mean, you never get a burn completely right, so let's see, how is our orbital inclination? Our inclination is 4%. Can we adjust it at this point? Yes, I'd say we go normal. Normal to the surface, of course, of Eve. Weird that I was in surface mode. Yeah, this works. And we are almost at the perfect point for that too, because I eyeballed it very good. 2. Can use more. Oh, okay. We were off by enough that 2 is the best that we can do. Okay. Why? Because it would have been over there. Okay. So at the apoapsis at 50 million kilometers. No, at the periapsis at 14 million meters. We'll do a retrograde burn. So if we want to do that, if that's the thing we want to do, then we want to do this now. Eyeball the place where Eve is back there at the maneuver. Yep. Okay. We also want this in a second. Not that. Orbit instead of body. Yeah, you can go away now. So we want to go over to this maneuver. This maneuver just tells us where to do it, not what to do. And we want to go anti-normal there. Wait, we want to go normal there. Let's say we want to go normal there, because I think that's the more true thing. Okay. Is it normal? Ah, because the maneuver is 0, it's actually coming with us here, which is totally weird. Yeah, that's the right direction. So this number down there, I want that to be 0 to better plan our... then closer it is to 0, the more accurate the transfer window planner stuff will be. Okay, we can't get it to below 2. This is also slanted that way. Oh! It's slanted this way, so we'll actually go here to just before the periapsis. At a maneuver here and ascend there for a bit. And fast forward to that maneuver. I didn't see the second. Can we please? Thank you. That's the shortcut key I will again and again and again fat finger. So if we go this way, the angle goes up, so we'll go anti-normal. Yeah. So I'm doing way too much adjustment here. My eccentricity is so big that the normal anti-normal stuff is basically irrelevant now. 18, 17, 16, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 0.95. Okay, 0.98. So we have a 1 degree inclination now. Oh, it's so difficult to eyeball that. Where the point is, where we'll have a 90... I mean, this looks like we are already at the point, but whatever. So we'll retrograde so that we have a faster speed on here. So if this would be our point where the ejection angle is, then this would be fine. But if we want to have if our ejection angle happens to be over there, we're losing energy from this orbit by going up there. We're actually losing kinetic energy to the gravitational system. We've escaped the gravitational influence of Gilly. Yeah, this did take a while, my slow friend. So I'll actually burn down to almost circular orbit of 14 million meters. What are you actually wanting again from me? This is always flashing yellow and I have no idea why. This is... Sometimes it's just a weird direction where the engine noise comes from. This is just right now, so if you only have plugged in your left earphone, you're perfectly alright. Someone did take away the periapsis. Probably me, because I'm stupid. So I wanted to be at 14 million, roughly, so that we can have something to start with our calculations here. They start to flip. They're flipping. And we have 40 million kilometers. We have now an orbit speed of 700. At the apoapsis, we would have had an orbit speed of like 200 if I hadn't done this. So let's look back at our ship where this is seemingly working now, but it doesn't say how. Thermal efficiency is good. Cooling is working. And the liquid fuel ISRU is working. Yeah, it's going up again. So we are refueling while flying, which is great. So we have our circular orbit and we can start plotting our course from here. We want to go from Eve to Kerbal from a 14,000 kilometer orbit into a 100 kilometer orbit. Flyby to actually we want to flyby at... Why did that not work? Can I please put in numbers? Since when can't I put in numbers? What is wrong with you? We have a 14,000 kilometer orbit. Ah, okay. I did that to me. Whenever plotted. So that's 600 meters per second. That's 13,000 meters per second. So we are at the worst possible place to return from Eve to Kerbal. Okay, but we'll reset that. We'll have to do that again. Not a later departure. We can take a few more days if we want to. So over there, this is taking almost 200 days longer. This is taking almost 200 days longer than the perfect burn. But we can do it now and we'll only lose 800 delta V, which we have enough delta V. So assume we'll do that instead of this one. Because this is in 400 days. I'm not waiting 400 days flying around Eve. That's stupid. So we'll start right now. Like right now. Like somewhere. Okay, you can't click and drag it. Okay, we'll start there. 1380. Add an ejection angle of 113 degree to prograde, which is difficult to hit. So somewhere around here, add a maneuver. Look again if we did hit it. No, we didn't. Like there-ish. And then we'll put in the numbers ourselves, which is 1377.6. Now these numbers work. Yeah, I already forgot why they didn't work a moment ago. 76.2 meters per second in the normal direction. So that's 1000 400 delta V. We could have used another thing where we would have only have to use. So this is obviously the one where it's where the most mistakes are coming from. But okay, so this is what we have plotted now. We don't need the ejection angle again. So this will, yeah, this will accelerate us parallel and a bit outward from Eve's trajectory, and it will also put us in a bit lower inclination and will actually let us overshoot Duna by quite a lot. So actually what we're doing here, because it looks like this, I'm pretty sure what we're doing here is we're going over here, going past Duna, and we're falling back to Kerbin here. So I'm pretty certain that we'll be on our way for a year until Kerbin that's now here is then there when we come back. That's basically what we're doing here. And we'll have to start our burn in 2 days. Yes, if we have to start our burn in 2 days, let's replot this. We can have 750 days, no problem. But we want to be there, like, want to start our burn in like 3 days. There it is. So we get new information on the maneuver node. Also on the ejection angle. Aha. That did change something. Which this is in 3 days. Oh. In 3 days is over here, not where I did it. Like here. This is how you have to do it, I assume. So now we can see. We'll actually have to adjust our prograde to 1343.2. And our normal to minus 135.9. I'm just copying instructions. That probably isn't very interesting, but now this time matches up with the time in the transfer window planner. And well, when we actually look at it, we still don't get an encounter. So this is our closest approach when Kerbin is there. So actually when we fall back down there, it will be there. Yeah, might work. Might work. So let's not use this one, because this is putting me 1 minute before the burn. That's wrong. We want 3 minutes before the burn, which is here. And I'm now doing my burn, which will take me 5 minutes to do. But we have the maximum amount of fuel in our stuff, and we'll produce more fuel during the burn and after the burn. So no problem at all, and we will accelerate in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Yeah. I assume I'll fast forward this for you. We won't need the ejection angle anymore, or the transfer window planner. Okay, we're taking the slower approach, but the approach which lets us fly away from Eve now, because like waiting in an orbit is a thing that just feels off to me. Now we're actually transmitting through Eve's atmosphere, which is also weird. Okay, I will go away from the map and I will just do the maneuver from here again, so that we together can see, once the burn is done, how good it was. I'll just let this image stand for itself. Look at this beauty. Eve, the sun, our ship. We're flying home. We are flying home. Do you know what I did forget? This is like the third or fourth time this happened to me. I forgot to place a flag on Gilly. That is 2 or 3 experience points for Kerbals lost. I'm just stupid. So something weird just happened. I had to stop the ISIU because these heating stuff is showing up and these cooling pins are actually at their maximum thing. So I assume don't have it active while accelerating. So my thing is, I think the atomic rocket motors have to be cooled, although it didn't say so in the VAB, and it's mean to not tell you what you have to do. It's really mean, but no problem. I realized that before it was too late. Okay, I did my burn. These things do have like their weird heat glitch still going on. Are they depleted at some point? I've no idea why they won't work. So if I start this again. Let's stop this again and let's just look at our course. Course. Our course is plotting us to be having a closest approach there and then falling back into here. So assume, because we have this additional SOI change, that we only get 1 target marker here. So we'll actually have to look at how we'll be doing that. I assume I wanna have our ascending and descending node match up. For that we'll have to do a maneuver here. Descending node over there. And descend it so that it fits. Okay, we'll have to use 314 delta V somewhere in the middle of nothing, which will hopefully then give us more information on how we'll reach Kerbal. Problem is that we have our approach there, and we'll have to do our calculations after that approach, but because they'll never show us a good approach here. So let's just warp to the SOI and see where we land. So we have our closest approach there, and we're losing it by doing our maneuver, which is weird. But I want to do the inclination change, just so that we'll have an easier time with Kerbal. So I'll do the inclination change now. Maybe we'll need to wait for more than a year. Maybe we'll meet Kerbal here the next time around. Okay, we did our inclination change. Inclination is now fixed. And now it's time for fiddling around with the next maneuver point to get an encounter. I'll see you when I did that. So if I do nothing and just place my maneuver point, it says me that I have a Kerbal periapsis of 78 million meters. So we'll tweak that once we're past this this closest approach marker, because it just doesn't appear until we are at the closest approach. I mean, just adding the maneuver does change my closest approach and periapsis marker. So we'll have to go past this closest approach marker to actually see what's going on and not being lied at. So I'll fast forward to that. Ah, now it's working. Now that we crossed this Kerbal line, it's working. So actually we'll try to do our adjustments at the apoapsis, which is the point where it's least efficient to do so. Whatever, Kerbin is I will put our maneuver point here. Kerbin is our target, where are you? Focus the view onto Kerbin. Let's see our periapsis. Why is it chugging so much? Okay, we have an almost equatorial apoapsis. That's really good already. So let's go into the maneuver and see how we can screw this up. Like by sending it here. Do we have a double periapsis moon? Kerbin and moon. Wow. Don't want to hit the moon. Don't want to hit Minmus. Just want to go straight in. Periapsis of 5 million. Now that I can see that I need to be higher. More radial in. There it is. 940,000. If I go radial in one more, I'm little braking. So we'll actually decelerate. That's 490,000. Decelerate one more. That's 60,000. That's an aero brake. That's an aero brake. Okay. And we can adjust it once we're like here. And we can adjust it to go under 35,000. Get rid of all the stuff that we don't want anymore and do a direct aero brake. Basically direct aero brake from Eve. But that's actually quite good here. So we did get, with the transfer window planner, we did get a direct Eve Kerbin transfer. So these are looking good. Yeah. So ISRU liquid fuel can be started again. Thermal efficiency is there. Cooling is at 10%. That's good. And we're filling up our fuel again, which we can see down here. Okay. So it's in 119 days where we'll do our burn. I'll see you there. We are in Kerbin's sphere of interest. Let's see. That got a lot of shatter from the thing. Okay. Quick save again. This is where we can still abort that and do... we have 2,800 delta V plus the ore. So we can do a perfect 70,000 meter Kerbin orbit if we want to. I'm just saying screw it. So I actually want to go like normal. That shouldn't change my... Yeah, with an orbit speed of 3,446 compared to Kerbin now. So if I decouple, that should change it by like 0.2 or something. That shouldn't change my periapsis. So let's see, we have 42,000 periapsis. 40,000 may be a bit too outwards. So let's go retrograde. Let's burn it down to 35,000, which is the proper re-entry thing, because that's where the atmosphere gets thicker again. Okay, quick save, normal. This can do much. Let's just go normal. And let's get rid of this stupid ship that nobody needs. Let's get rid of the SAS that nobody needs. I mean, you can go retrograde, but nobody cares. So now we have a totally different orbit, or apoapsis of 33,000, so it actually changed the thing, but nobody cares anymore. We'll have atmosphere contact. Time to atmosphere, it doesn't show, which is weird. Let's go to lower than moon orbit. We have a very high orbit speed. And we're getting sucked into Kerbin's gravity well pretty strong. It's weird that it doesn't show a time to atmosphere. It's like pretending that Kerbal doesn't have an atmosphere. What's your problem? Turn off the SAS because that actually needs my electric charge, and we did use monopropellant, so this thing has built-in RCS? I didn't know that. Or did I put on RCS? No. Interesting, I didn't know that. So let's go further towards Kerbal, like here, and hope that it isn't inside of the range. I mean, yeah. I can see by the space station's orbit. When I cross the space station's orbit, somewhere around there, we'll get too close. I will force myself out of the time warp if we're getting too low. And we're doing the direct re-entry from Eve now. Re-entry in 40 seconds. Re-entry in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we are re-entering hot from directly from Eve with an orbit with a speed of 4,700. We want to roll a bit, just a bit, and we want to go up a bit, just a bit like this, because this actually breaks us. Because of the aerodynamics of the pod. So pods from the American or European Space Agency, when they come down, I have to press the opposite direction to do what I want to. No, this one. Yeah. They don't come in directly facing retrograde, and we just lost our orbit. No, we just lost our escape trajectory from Kerbal. We're actually ascending again, but apoapsis is dropping strong. Yeah, we're in Kerbal orbit view now, because I can turn the camera around like this. It's actually not coming in directly retrograde, but it's and then it changed again. It's actually like dipping like this, so that the air makes it fly higher and so go longer through the atmosphere to give it more time for braking. This is actually not a thing that's good for this, for my electric charge here. Ablator is looking good. So 800 ablator, I think you can land in a direct flight from ELO with 800 ablator. This is ridiculously much. But we're going down, we have no periapsis anymore, and we did fly the direct hot re-entry from Eve. Was a success. Go to retrograde, toggle off SAS, because we don't need it, and we can just wait until it's safe to deploy our parachutes. And we don't need direct parachutes for just the capsule. And as we're not taking any science with us anymore, because we're done with science, we only need the capsule for every mission in the future. Okay, in about 1 minute we'll land in water, but the atmosphere is getting thicker now, so we'll actually slow down a bit more. We can go into physical time warp now. Still slowing down. As you can see, SAS is completely turned off and I'm not doing anything, and the capsule will follow this and will break optimal for us to just use our parachutes. I didn't know that the MK16XL has 3 parachutes. Interesting. Should have right-clicked at it once. I thought it was a bigger one. Okay. So I'll see you when we're actually landed. I mean, I can fast forward that. You know what's happening here. We're coming down in water, so just going through the clouds and towards the water that has two different textures, depending on where you look. That's original texture. That's that's Eve's texture. So that's the original texture of the water here, which is looking weird. It's more looking like the moon. But this is the texture of the environmental visual enhancer mod that I've installed. Okay, we'll go down. We'll also, I mean, we can take the funds from the heat shield back with us, but as you see, we only used 3/8 of the ablator, so everything's fine. Okay. And what I'm most interested in is to find out what next mission our mission control has in store for us. We're at first milestones. We have returned home from the surface of Gilly, from a flyby, from an orbit of Gilly, from a flyby of Eve, from orbit of Eve, from flyby of the sun, and from the orbit of the sun. That got us a lot of funds, and a return trip from Eve. Is this mission log right? Incredible! We've taken our first steps toward exploring Eve. Let's keep going and see where it takes us. Please not. I want to go to Duna, not Eve. Please don't send me to Eve landing. That's where I'll abort the career missions. Show it to me. First I get some signs for recovering a ship that's returning from Eve and Gilly and the sun. For the first time, I assume Gilly gives the most points. So, interesting that Gilly gives more points than Eve, but it's always so that the moons give more points. Yeah, Gilly 90 signs and 270 signs. We actually earned 32 signs. The rest was transferred into funds. Yeah, we have 35,000 funds recovered here. And all of them gained 27 XP. Would have been 29, I think, if I had planted a flag. We'll see how... Let's see first how much they are off. Yeah, land on Gilly. I think planting the flag on Gilly gives 16, so they wouldn't be level 4 now. So everything's fine. I want to look into the mission control. Explore Minmus? Rendezvous to vessels in orbit of Minmus. Rendezvous and dock to... Yes, I can do that. I think I do that off screen. Volcanic rock. Bring a volcanic rock on Eve back to Kerbal. No! I will not land on Eve. Pancake Dome. That's on Eve. Basalt Formation. Eve. Okay. None of these is a thing that I want to do now. So I also don't want to map 17 asteroids because that mission is bullshit. I'll do the Minmus thing. I'll do it off screen. I'll just place the vessels that they're next to each other, and I'll see you in the next episode. When we start, when we do the vessel put together mission. I think I'll send drones to form another relay satellite around Minmus. I think I'll do that, and I'll put two of those together. I mean, it gives like a lot of money, so it's okay, but okay. I'll do that mission partway off screen. Have a nice day, see you tomorrow.